Oh my god, YouTubers, I'm so sorry. I forgot I had a free account. I could only do like 15 minutes of action. So, yeah, that destroyed it. Anyway, I think it stopped where that guy was like, how much is that camera? You know, distracted me, okay? So, I get fed up with it. I whip out the thing, pull out my freaking camera. I run over there and I'm running. The guy sees me. The guy, the 18-year-old who thinks he's hot shit, he sees me. So what does he do? He's like starting to get all uncomfortable. But I get around there so fast and whip around, and I do like one of those Tom Cruise risky business slides, except I'm not in my underwear. I'm like, bam! Snap the picture, right? Get this dude, and it's priceless. He's like, putting his hand over this here, and you see, like, down on the corn nuts that nobody buys because there's dust all over it, that frickin' cradle with, like, two more freaking beers in it, you know? So that means he's at least got 3. You know, I only saw him putting one in there, and I cover it over. And so I snapped the picture, and it's just like, it's like a moment of silence between us two. Like, he just looks like this, and I'm looking like this. You know, and then finally I say, you know what? I think I'm going to develop this so that every time I wake up, I can look over and see your picture and just know I caught another piece of shit that night, you know? And I start going off on him. I'm like, how can you have so little pride in yourself that you're going to take beer and try to steal it from me and then stuff it into your pants, man? How many do you have in there? Because it seems like you got a lot of room. I feel really bad for your girlfriend, man. I'm sure she's just never satisfied. If you have enough time to stuff some beers in your pants. And of course, he's still taking off. Like, he doesn't know what's going on. He's like, is this dude like really trying to make fun of me right now? Like, 18-year-old, who's hot shit? And so he's like, and he tries to play like, oh, what are you talking about, man? I ain't got no burr. I don't have no beer, man. What, are you talking about that? Well, that was here when I got here, man. Those are freaking corn nuts. You know, I was just coming over to get me some corn nuts. I was like, okay. And I did a line. I said, if you can prove to me, you, not your boobs, if you can prove to me that you don't have a beer in your pants right now, then I will buy you whatever you want, man. But I already know. Don't even try to mumble something at me, man. I already know you have the beer. And you know what another thing is? That makes you a larcenist, okay? So you've already committed a misdemeanor. And I guarantee you, I don't think you're 21, which is another misdemeanor, trying to steal beer and you're underage. So, like, what are you thinking right now? I don't know what the fuck you talk about, man. You need to fucking get up off it, man. Because you keep fucking with me, man. Maybe I will pull something out of my pants. Maybe I'll pull something out that's going to cause you some problems. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, I wish this kid would pull something out of his pants that would cause me problems. I'm assuming he's saying he has a gun, you know. But as he's going off, threatening me with like some kind of firearm or something like that, you know, and I'm dropping all these things on him. And then he says, you know, and he's like, you know what? And I don't even like coming into this store because every time I come in here, y'all be watching me like I'm trying to steal something all the time. And I was like, dude, you're a suspicious person. You never ever look at it. You never ever give anybody full eye contact or greet someone when they say hello. And about this time, I kind of glance over and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I've got a line of people, you know, and they're all just kind of like standing there looking, a couple of them like chuckling because, you know, I'm obviously like raping this kid right now. So, like, you know, I tell them every time you come in here, you never ever give anyone eye contact. You're always going off to some corner. And 9 times out of 10, when you leave, you haven't even bought anything. You know? So how can you say that's not a suspicious behavior? I know how this works, man. I work at Crest. I know how it goes. So I'm like, oh, he just fucked up. Now I know he works at Crest, you know? But, of course, I'm not going to pull that out on him yet, you know? So he keeps doing his thing. He's backing off. He's not. And I was like, are you taking the beer out or not? Or am I going to have to call the police and call this a theft? I don't have no beer, man. Fuck you. He leaves, goes outside. So I pick up the phone. And after I finish out, like, there's like 3 or 4 more customers, and the first guy, the guy that was like distracting me, all of a sudden becomes like, you know, my ally. He's like, oh man, you did a good job, man. You handled that real well, man. That's a real crazy situation, man. I ain't ever seen nobody handle that kind of stuff like that. I was like, hey man, I just want to let you know something, okay? If he will steal from me, he will steal from you. I promise you that. Oh man, I don't know that motherfucker. And I'll tell you what, if he did try to steal from me, I would pull something out of my pants that would cause him some problems. It's like, okay, man, well, you have a good night, you know. So he rolls out. Dude's like still sitting over by the ice machine. I'm starting to just steam like more and more and more. I'm just like, oh my God, this kid is just like sitting, and he's gloating about it. He's like, ha, 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 you know, and a couple of people would come in afterwards. Like, I pick up the phone and I dial like OU Medical Center. which the reason why I dialed the medical center is because it gives you like the weather, and I was just like, hey, I'll check out the weather and pretend like I'm talking to the cops, you know. So I'm calling it, and I'm looking at him, I'm just like, yeah, you know, you know. And so all of a sudden, dude's like, and he's like talking to somebody at the car, and then all of a sudden he runs up to the door. Hey man, fuck you, fuck the police, I don't give a fuck, man. Fuck you, little bitch. Fuck the police. Come outside, bitch. I have something for you. And then he runs off. He like takes off. And I'm just like, God, this kid is so stupid, you know. And it's so frustrating. But I keep telling myself, okay, dude's young. Dude doesn't understand that sooner or later he's going to have to take responsibility for his actions. And honestly, one of two things is going to happen. Either one, he's going to wake up and he's going to go, you know what? It kind of sucks being an asshole because I don't have any friends, you know. Maybe if I was, you know, a little bit more honest with people, they would actually listen to me, you know. Or two, he's not going to change and he's going to end up in jail or, you know, I don't know, dead, I guess. I haven't really gone down that path. But anyway, dude bolts off, leaves, you know. So I hang up the phone and I'm steaming more and more. I'm just looking at things. I was like, man, and the thing I thought of was like, I just don't feel like I took the right action because I didn't catch the inventory. It always feels like a loss to me, even though I was able to get the kid's picture. And, you know, they're probably not going to develop it, but, you know, I've got his picture. You know, he thinks I'm going to develop it. He thinks that his face is plastered all over 7-Eleven, and he doesn't need to know any different, you know. But anyway, so the night goes on. I'm still kind of steamed about it. About 2 or 3 hours later, I go over to our fountain bar. Now, the way the 7-Eleven layout is in most 7-Elevens is there's a main entrance. You go through the main entrance, and on the right-hand side, you'll see like the check stand where we're usually standing, ringing people up at the registers and stuff. There's a bunch of aisles that have like candy and stuff that are, you know, again, up to head height. But then there's this one big aisle full of chips, and it's like my bunk bed status. Ooh, look at that. That thing is huge. Dreamcatcher. I think there's a sombrero. Anyway, there's no sombrero. It's not that amazing. But it's huge. It's massive. You can't see over it, you know, unless you're like, I don't know, Shaquille O'Neal or something. But anyway, so I go around over there, and I'm like working on the fountain. It's pretty dead. It's like, you know, 2, 3 a.m., you know, no more selling. You can't sell beer in Oklahoma after 2 a.m. either. But anyway, I go over around that corner, and I'm stocking up some stuff, wiping down the bar, you know, because this tore up, right? I hear the door open. So initially, first thing you're supposed to do is greet. So I'm like, hello, you know, and I'm coming up, and I don't see anything, and I turn the corner. As soon as I turn the corner, guess who's right there? Freaking 18-year-old thinks he's hot shit guy. What's he doing? Oh, I don't exist now. He's just looking at his money like he's counting his money. And I'm just, you know, you need to leave the store right now. And I'm talking, we're like face to face. Like we probably could have been making out in like a French movie or something, but we're not, okay? We're just face to face, and I'm looking at him like directly in his eye. And I said, you need to leave the store right now, you know? And he's like looking down. What? Why I gotta leave the store? You don't know I stole nothing? I was like, I've got plenty of evidence to prove that you've stolen something. Now get out of the store before I call the police. Oh, is that all you gonna do if I don't get out the store? I said, well, according to policy, I'll verbally detain you. Sorry, somebody's like poking me. Okay, so according to policy, I can verbally detain you for a potential crime, and I call the police. And when they show up, you have to explain whether or not you did the crime. If you leave the scene while you're verbally detained, that is admission of guilt. So your choice, man. Get out of this store now, or I'm going to call the police, and we're gonna have a problem. I have no problem signing a ticket, you know. And he's still looking at me. He's giving me this look like, yeah, I'm about to hit you in the fucking face, white boy. And that's when it just hit me. I said, or you could try to lay your hands on me, and I don't have to follow policy. I can do exactly what I've been wanting to do for the past 3 hours. So what are you gonna do? You know what, motherfucker? I got something for you. Starts backing off, doing a little head cock. I can't really do it too well. He's got the shoulders going too, like alternating. Boom! Flips me a bird. Boom, little bitch, flips me a bird as he's leaving, right? He's like, why don't you come outside, man? Why don't you come outside? I was like, what's the difference between inside and outside? I have cameras outside, too, and I'm not, you know what? I've already humiliated you enough. You really want me to go out there and kick your ass in front of your friends? Like, you need to leave. And I go up, and I get in towards the phone, and he just bounces off, and that's really the end of the situation. I didn't ever get the beer back, and I really don't think I resolved it too well, but you know what? I was pissed, okay? And the only thing that really concerns me now is it's like, I have to go to work every single night at the same location, okay? And to him, I'm the bad guy. Here's his mindset. Oh, man, I tried to steal that burr that I ain't allowed to buy, and he caught me stealing. Now I'm going to have to mess him up. I'm going to have to do something because he's the bad guy. He's the one who caught me doing something wrong. How is that even logical? Like, it doesn't make sense. You know, you're coming in to take a piece of inventory that's not yours, you have no entitlement to. Two, you don't even have the maturity level governed by state law to even purchase. But I'm the bad guy because I intervene between you and a bad decision, you know? Hey, nothing I can do, you know, he's young, it's going to happen. The only thing I'm worried about, not my personal well-being, I'm worried about, you know, the vehicle. If I pull in there with the car, dude's going to, you know, if he's feeling pissed off, he can run over and break the window, you know. Granted, we have cameras outside, but, you know, all I know, oh, and that was the other thing. When he was leaving, that's what got him to leave, because it was real heated. But I said to him, if you keep this up, I'll talk to you. Yeah, am I pointing at the boobs? If you keep this up, I'm going to talk to your manager at Crest, and we'll see how he feels about having a larcenist under his employment line. And that was really where he's and leaving, you know, bounced out, didn't have to worry about him. But yeah, I guess that's it, really. I just, you know, don't be that way, okay? If you'd be surprised at how much just asking a simple question would do, especially with, like, you know, people who work in an employment line. I mean, you know, we see these kind of people every single day. You know, don't get me wrong. I try not to stereotype, but sometimes you size them up, you stereotype, you know. And don't get me wrong. Another thing, this store that I got transferred to had so much hype about it being like the shittiest store on the planet. Even the security guard that works at the apartments across the street was like, man, you ever have any problems, you call that number. I don't think you're going to last but like 2 weeks because you're just you're a little too positive for this place, man. It ain't going to work. You ain't going to be that way in 2 weeks, you know. So what, 3 months later and I'm still the same, you know, it's no different. And I told him about that, and I said, look, man, I've worked at places that are like 5 times worse than this, you know, places that had nighttime shootings. We had to have a police officer out in the parking lot, you know, because hobos were getting stabbed trying to get a beer off of somebody's six-pack, you know. And it's like, the thing about this store that I love, though, is like I have those situations. I come in at 10 p.m. I have those situations until about 3:30 in the morning. Once it hits 3:35, early birds start coming in. People who really appreciate not only like themselves but their community. I have one guy that comes into that store every day at 5 in the morning and just stands there. He drives from, like, I don't know, like Stillwater or something to come to this store at 5 in the morning and talk to those people in that community that come in there, because that's how tight-knit they stay. That's how those honest people live in that kind of environment. And to see that, I mean, I've worked in, like, the Valley Brook of Oklahoma, the real high-class area of Oklahoma. And I'll tell you what, the interaction that those people have in the morning is so much more genuine than anything I've ever seen in any other location. And that's why I love my job. Every time I go in there, I have this game plan. When I get up at 9:20 and I get dressed, my game plan is all I've got to do is try to maintain structure at this location for another 6 or 7 hours. Once it hits 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm golden. You know, I sit back and I get to relax. I don't have to worry about occasionally you get those real stragglers, but they're so hammered they can barely even open the door, so it's not really that big of a problem. But the thing, I guess the grandiose whole rant about this thing is just take some time to look at your behavior, and if you are anywhere near the 18-year-old guy who's hot shit, try to get a little bit more closer to the tight-knit community, you know? Yeah, so I guess that's technically my first video for YouTube. You guys should like it. Comment. I'm pointing at what should be a link, but I don't know how to do that yet, so we're going to pretend there's a link. Like it, dislike it, you know, I just want to see what happens, okay? And also, I have a live stream. It's www.own3d.tv. Then you have to hit /live/115669 or Phinland. I think if you put /Phinland, it'll work. If you just search Phinland under Own TV, you'll find me, but I'll probably link it anyway. Hey, why not? If I can figure out how to put a link. Anyway, good talking to you guys. I'm at that free man mark. It's over here somewhere. Yeah, 1452. Gonna have to shut it down, okay? Peace.